Everyone in town warned Mia, he's no good. He has a past. You deserve better. But no one told her that the man they spoke about with such disdain would be the only one who ever saw her as whole, not a fixer-upper, not the too proper English teacher afraid to get her hands dirty. At 32, Mia is about to discover that daisies can grow through stone, and that real love often blooms exactly where no one expects it. Welcome to Lost Stories in Lyrics, the place where emotional stories will touch your heart. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Mia woke up every morning at 6, to the sound of wind brushing against the second-floor window. The house was old, pale wood, faded blue shutters, but she loved the quiet sturdiness of it, the feeling that something there had survived time. She'd been living alone ever since she moved back to Greenhill 3 years earlier, after trying to build a life in Boston and realizing the city demanded more from her than she was willing to give. Greenhill was the kind of town where everyone knew your name. Where the baker could tell you had a cold just by looking at you. Where conversations started at the grocery store and somehow ended at church, with plenty of creative detours in between. Mia taught literature at the local high school and genuinely loved it, the look on a student's face when a poem finally clicked, the raised hand of someone who wanted to share how a book shifted something inside them. But at 32, Mia already knew that in Greenhill, being single was almost an invitation for commentary. People didn't say it outright, but it lingered in their stares, in the too long pauses, in the gentle prodding. So, Mia, any news? She'd smile, deflect, change the subject. She wasn't desperate. She wasn't incomplete. She was just waiting for something that actually made sense. On Saturdays, she visited her grandmother Lorraine, an 86-year-old who still planted daisies in her yard like she was planting hope. Lorraine always said that a flower that grows out of stone is a flower that refuses to give up. Mia had always thought it sounded beautiful, but she never really understood it, until she met Liam. She first saw him at the auto shop on Main Street, after her car started making a weird rattling sound. Mia didn't know much about cars, but she knew when something was wrong. Liam was crouched beside a pickup truck, hands covered in grease, wearing a gray t-shirt that had definitely seen better days. When she walked in, he looked up, and Mia felt something strange. Not attraction. Recognition. As if she already knew this man was going to matter. He didn't smile. Just wiped his hands on an old rag and asked what was going on. Mia explained, nervous for reasons she couldn't explain. Liam listened quietly, nodded, and said he'd take a look. Told her to come back later that afternoon. When Mia stepped out of the shop, 2 neighbors were standing on the sidewalk, Shirley from the fabric store and Margaret from the post office. They exchanged a look, and Shirley muttered just loud enough. "Be careful with that one, Mia. He's got a past." Mia didn't reply. She just kept walking. But those words clung to her. He's got a past. As if people could be reduced to their worst mistakes. As if no one could ever change. That afternoon, when she returned to pick up the car, Liam was alone in the shop. He explained the issue calmly, without jargon, without rushing. Mia noticed he spoke slowly, like he chose his words with intention. She paid, thanked him, and just as she was about to walk out, he said, "You're the literature teacher, right?" Mia paused. Turned back. "I am." "How'd you know?" "Small town," he said, with half a smile that barely appeared. "My niece talks about you. Says you make books feel alive." Mia felt her face warm. "I try." "It's a gift," he said, and went back to work. She stood there for a moment, unsure what to say. Then left. And came back. 2 weeks later, the car made another noise. Mia knew she could have gone anywhere else. But she didn't. She went there. Liam looked at her with that steady, almost cautious calm, but said nothing about it. He fixed the problem. She paid. And before leaving, Mia asked, Do you like coffee? Liam froze for a second. Looked at her like he was trying to read between the lines. Yeah. There's a cafe across from the church. I'm there every Sunday morning. He didn't answer right away. But the next Sunday, when Mia walked in with a book under her arm, Liam was sitting at a table by the window. That's how it started. Their conversations were slow. He wasn't much of a talker, but when he spoke, it felt honest. He told her he'd grown up in Greenhill, left for a while, then came back. That life had been rough. That he'd made bad choices. That he'd paid for them. He didn't go into detail, and Mia didn't push. She understood some stories needed time before being shared. But one afternoon at her grandmother's house, watering daisies in the yard, Mia finally understood what she felt. Lorraine looked at her and asked, "Who is he?" Mia blinked. "Who?" "The man who's making you smile like that." Mia laughed, flustered. "Liam. He works at the auto shop." Lorraine nodded and kept watering. "And what are people saying?" "That he's trouble. That he's got a record. That I should be careful." Her grandmother stopped. Looked at the flowers pushing up through stone. "A daisy that grows out of rock doesn't quit, Mia. And love that grows in spite of everything, that kind of love is worth something." Something shifted in Mia's chest. Something like courage. But the next week, everything fell apart. She was at school, grading papers in the teacher's lounge, when Ellen, the coordinator, walked in with the look of someone carrying bad news. "Mia, I need to tell you something. It's about Liam." Her heart dropped. "What about him?" "He did time, Mia. 6 years ago. Assault charges. Everyone in town knows. I just thought, you deserved to know." Mia went still. Felt the floor shift under her. Assault? He beat someone up in a bar. Nearly killed the guy. Spent 2 years in prison. Ellen squeezed her shoulder gently. "I'm only telling you because I care. I don't want you getting hurt." Mia thanked her, tried to smile, but inside she was unraveling. She moved through the rest of the day like a ghost. That night, alone at home, the weight of every voice pressed down on her, neighbors, co-workers, even her grandmother, who hadn't known the full story. What if they were right? What if she was fooling herself? What if that quiet steadiness was just a mask? The next morning, Mia skipped the cafe. And the Sunday after that. She ignored Liam's messages. Took different streets. Avoided the shop entirely. She felt cowardly, but she also felt afraid. Afraid of choosing wrong. Afraid of giving herself to something everyone insisted would destroy her. And in the stillness of her empty house, Mia broke. Not from missing him. From shame. Shame for believing. Shame for feeling. And deep down, shame for not having the courage to trust the truth her own heart had been trying to tell her all along. It was Grandma Lorraine who showed up at Mia's door on a Tuesday night, unannounced. She never did that. Lorraine believed surprise visits were rude. But that night, she rang the doorbell 3 times, and when Mia opened the door, she found her grandmother standing there in a purple coat, her gaze steady and unyielding. "Are you going to tell me what happened?" she said, "or do I have to guess?" Mia let her in. Made tea. They sat in the living room, and Mia told her everything, Liam's past, the prison time, the assault, and the fear that had taken hold of her since she'd found out. Lorraine listened without interrupting. When Mia finished, her grandmother exhaled slowly and asked, "Did you talk to him?" Mia shook her head. "I couldn't." "Then you've already judged and sentenced him without hearing his side." "Grandma, he hurt someone. He almost killed a man." "And do you know why?" Mia stayed quiet. "No. Then find out, Lorraine said firmly. Because if you're going to walk away from him, do it after you've looked him in the eye and heard the truth. Not because of what other people said. She stood, kissed Mia on the forehead, and left. Mia didn't sleep that night. She thought about their conversations, the way Liam looked at her, his calm presence, the honesty in his words. And she realized she had made the same mistake the whole town had made. She had let his past define who he was now. The next morning, Mia went to the repair shop. Liam was in the back, working on an engine. When he saw her, he stopped, wiped his hands, stood up, and waited. I ran, Mia said bluntly. I got scared and I ran. He didn't reply. They told me what happened. About prison. About everything. Liam closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, there was pain there. I was going to tell you. I was just waiting for the right time. Tell me now, Mia said, her voice shaking. He took a deep breath. I was 24. I was at a bar with some friends. A guy started harassing one of their girlfriends. My friend stepped in, the guy swung first. I jumped in. He hit me, I hit back. But I didn't stop. I lost control. When I came to, he was on the floor, bleeding, and people were holding me back. He paused, his voice rough. He spent 2 weeks in the hospital. I spent 2 years in prison. When I got out, I promised myself I'd never let that rage take over again. I've spent 6 years building a different life. Slowly. Quietly. Without expecting anyone to believe in me. Mia felt her eyes burn. Until I showed up, she said softly. He looked at her. You were the first person who looked at me without fear. Without suspicion. That changed everything for me, Mia. But I understand if you can't trust me. I understand if it's too late. She stepped closer. It's not too late. I was just afraid of being wrong. Afraid that everyone else was right and I wasn't. And now? She took his hand. His fingers were still smudged with grease, but she didn't care. Now I want to try. For real. He squeezed her hand back. And for the first time, Mia saw Liam smile, a small smile, but genuine. The weeks that followed were the lightest Mia had felt in years. They saw each other almost every day. Walked through town, had dinner at her place, talked late into the night. Liam shared more about prison, about the therapy he went through, about learning how to manage his anger. Mia talked about Boston, about a relationship that ended badly, about her fear of never being truly seen. And the more time they spent together, the more certain she became, it was real. But Greenhill didn't make it easy. People stared. Whispered. Shirley stopped greeting her on the street. Margaret no longer asked how she was doing. Even some co-workers began treating her differently, with a polite distance that hurt more than open insults. Mia tried to ignore it. But it wasn't easy. Until one Friday, Ellen called her into the principal's office. Mia, I need to talk to you. Some parents are concerned. Concerned about what? About you being involved with Liam. They think it reflects poorly on the school. Mia felt her blood boil. My personal life has nothing to do with my job. I know. But you know how small towns are. People talk. Let them. Ellen sighed. I'm just warning you because I care about you. But this could get complicated. Mia left the office wanting to scream. She drove straight to her grandmother's house. Lorraine was in the garden, as always. When she saw Mia, she set the watering can down. What happened? Mia broke down. Told her everything, the school, the parents, the pressure. I don't know what to do anymore, Grandma. I care about him. A lot. But everyone's against it. What if I'm being selfish? What if I'm risking everything for a feeling? Lorraine cupped Mia's face in both hands. Listen to me. Love isn't selfish. Love is brave. And if everyone's against you, it's because you're doing something they don't have the courage to do. You're choosing what's true instead of what's easy. But what if it goes wrong? What if it goes right? Lorraine shot back. These daisies you see here grew out of stone. No one believed they would. But I watered them anyway. Every day. Because I believed. And look at them now. Mia hugged her grandmother and cried, out of exhaustion, fear, and relief. And when she went home, she decided she wouldn't run anymore. But on Monday, things got worse. A rumor spread through town. Someone claimed Liam had been seen arguing with a man in the grocery store parking lot. That he pushed him. That he was becoming violent again. Mia heard the story 3 times before lunch. Each version worse than the last. She knew she had to talk to him. But this time, a small, frightened part of her began to doubt again. And it was that doubt that made her hesitate when Liam called that night. Mia, you have to trust me. What they're saying isn't true. Then tell me what happened. I will. In person. Tomorrow. Please. She agreed. But she lay awake all night, wondering if she was being naive. If she was letting her heart overpower her judgment. And in the quiet of that early morning, Mia realized, this was the final test. Either she trusted him completely, or she walked away from everything. Mia woke up before the alarm. She'd slept poorly, dreaming of whispered voices, sideways glances, doors closing. She got up, made coffee, tried to read, but the words blurred on the page. At 9 a.m., Liam knocked on the door. He looked different, exhausted. Hollow-eyed, as if he hadn't slept either. Mia let him in, and they sat across from each other in the living room, a heavy silence between them. The man in the parking lot was my brother, Liam began quietly. We haven't spoken in years. He showed up out of nowhere, drunk, asking for money. I said no. He kept pushing, started insulting me, saying I'd always been a coward. I tried to leave. He grabbed me. I pulled free. That was it, Mia. I pulled free and walked away. But of course someone saw it. And of course it turned into something else. Mia stayed silent. She looked at him, at the fatigue on his face, the pain. Why didn't you tell me about your brother? Because he's a part of my life I wanted to forget. He reminds me of who I used to be. Of everything I did wrong. And I didn't want you to look at me and see that. I don't see that, Liam, Mia said, her voice breaking. I see you. I see who you are now. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath. But the town doesn't. And it never will. And I don't know if I can ask you to carry that with me. Mia stood and went to the window. She looked out at the empty street, the familiar houses, the small, predictable life she'd built there. And she realized that all of it, without Liam, was just safety. Not happiness. Not truth. She turned back to him. Do you remember what you said the day we met? That I made books feel alive? He nodded, unsure. Do you know why I do that? Because I believe stories matter. Words matter. Truth matters. And my truth, Liam, is that I trust you. Not because I'm naive. Not because I didn't hear what people said. But because I choose to believe what I see. And what I see is a man who fights every day to be better. A man who treats me with care. Who listens. Who makes me want to be braver. Liam stood too and took a step toward her. And if what I can offer is never enough? If the town keeps talking? If you lose things because of me, then I lose them, Mia said firmly. Because what I've gained with you is worth more than anything they could take away. He cupped her face with both hands. This time, there was no hesitation. Only truth. I love you, he said. And I'll spend the rest of my life proving you're not wrong. I love you too, Mia replied. And you don't have to prove anything. You just have to stay. They kissed there, in the living room filled with morning light, while outside Greenhill went on with its routine, unaware of the small miracle unfolding inside that house. In the weeks that followed, Mia didn't pretend it was easy. It wasn't. Some parents did complain. Ellen had to step in, defend Mia to the school board, make it clear that her personal life had no impact on the excellent work she did. Shirley kept turning her head away. Margaret stopped sending Christmas cards. But other things happened, too. Liam's niece, one of Mia's students, wrote an essay about courage. About how people judge without knowing. About how her uncle was the kindest man she knew. The essay was read aloud in class, and some students applauded. In that applause, Mia saw that not everything was lost. Lorraine began inviting Liam for Sunday lunches. He helped in the garden, fixed things around the house, listened patiently to the grandmother's old stories. And one day, as they watched Liam planting new daisies, Lorraine said to Mia, "That man is stone and flower at the same time. He's strong, but he lets beautiful things grow in him. You chose well." Slowly, very slowly, some people began to change their minds. Not everyone. Never everyone. But enough for Mia to realize that courage is contagious. 6 months later, on a Saturday afternoon, Mia and Liam were in Lorraine's garden. The daisies had multiplied, covering nearly every space between the stones. Liam was crouched down, adjusting the soil around a new plant, while Mia sat on the grass, reading. "Do you think they know?" Liam asked suddenly. "Who?" "The flowers. Do you think they know they're not supposed to grow here? That it's impossible?" Mia smiled. "I think they don't care about impossible. They just know how to grow." Liam looked at her. "Like us." "Like us," she repeated. He sat beside her and took her hand. They stayed there in silence as the sun slowly dipped toward the horizon. Mia never earned the full approval of Greenhill. It was never easy. But she learned that resilient love isn't the kind that conquers every obstacle effortlessly. It's the kind that chooses, every day, to continue. Even when it's hard. Even when the world doubts. She learned that emotional trust isn't the absence of fear. It's the courage to believe in spite of it. And she learned that the best choices are sometimes the ones no one understands, except you. And the person beside you, growing between stones, blooming against all odds. Because in the end, what matters isn't what others see. It's what you feel. It's the garden you build. It's the quiet strength of a love that decides, every single day, to stay alive. Like a daisy in stone. Like hope in hard ground. Like truth in the middle of the noise. Enjoyed the video? Smash that like button and subscribe for more awesome stories. I'll be waiting for you in the next story.